Welcome to There's No Place Like Home, the radio show coming to you on WRXB 1590 AM and Pinellas County Connection TV. This program is presented to you as an opportunity to hear information that can help you fulfill the dream of owning your very own home. We also share information about upcoming special events and programs to help you enjoy the good life in Pinellas County, as well as other items of interest. The sponsor of this program is the Housing Finance Authority of Pinellas County, which offers the First-Time Homebuyers Program, your key to home ownership, helping people in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties make their dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Frank Bowman alongside Jane Merlin, your host for today's show. Good morning, Jane. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Frank, and how are you?
I'm very, very good.
Good. You know, we've got a really exciting program coming up today. We're going to be talking about one of the county's newest housing initiatives, actually especially designed for veterans. It's called Proud Ground Pinellas. And coming up in a little while will be Ed Cordemanch. He is the housing specialist with Pinellas County Community Development, who we work with, and he has an integral part in this program, and we've got some really exciting things to talk about, so I'm really looking forward to the show.
This is a very neat program. I hope folks pay attention, maybe get some pencil and paper and take some notes, because this is going to be an opportunity for a lot of our listeners.
Absolutely. But before we get into that, I know that you have an update from our sponsor.
That is true. The HFA is offering its first-time homebuyers program for individuals in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties who have never owned a home, have not owned a home in the last 3 years, or who are veterans or active-duty service people. The HFA offers a low rate on its 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, and if you need a little help with down payment and closing costs, they can help with that as well with our Home Key Second Mortgage, which is available in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties. That's something new. This used to be only available in Pinellas, and now we've extended it to the other counties. To get your key to home ownership, call 727-464-8210 or visit the website at www.pinellascounty.org/community/HFA. And by the way, to reach us for more information or comments about this show, call us at that same number, 727-464-8210, or email us at housingfinanceauthority@pinellascounty.org. Remember, you can also catch past shows by logging on to the website, or you can even catch us on YouTube. Jane?
Thank you, Frank. And before we bring Ed on, I wanted to just let folks know, you were on the show last month and actually talked about a number of exciting multifamily developments that we have going on in the county. And one of those, Country Club Townhomes in Clearwater, is ready for sale. And I wanted you to give us an update on what's going on there.
That is true, Jane. The first building has been completed and is open for people to come in and take a look and inspect it. They've got one of the units decorated as a model. These are there's two sizes. There's a 1,200 and a 1,300 square foot townhome. They all have 2-car garages, granite countertops, and wood cabinets, and they're very, very highly energy efficient. They're located at Drew Street and Betty Lane, and it's in what the city of Clearwater refers to as their East Gateway area. So this is going to be a really wonderful project. The pricing on these units has been subsidized and is available starting at about $140,000, and that's for a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhome. This is ownership. We're not talking rental. And the city of Clearwater is also making additional down payment assistance available for folks to buy in that project. So if you're interested in moving into the Clearwater area, these are great units, be very, very energy efficient and very cost effective as well. If people want to get more information on that, they can go to our website, pinellascounty.org/community, and we have some flyers on the website about that, or they can call the 727-464-8210 number and ask one of our receptionists for information.
It's an awesome community and has a lot of nice amenities in it. I had a chance to go into the model home and took a look around and was very impressed with them. And there's a pool for the community to utilize. So I think these are going to be wonderful properties, and it's a great opportunity and very affordable for people to get into these brand new homes.
Excellent.
Well, I'm ready to get into today's topic, and we are very thrilled to have Ed Cordemanche, housing specialist with Pinellas County Community Development. He's been with the county for 6 years and is responsible for the renovation of the homes in our newest initiative for veterans, Proud Ground Pinellas. Welcome to There's No Place Like Home, Ed.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we appreciate you being here, and just to give folks a little bit of a brief overview of Proud Ground Pinellas, as I mentioned, this is an initiative for veterans. If you're active military or you are a veteran, this is a program that was especially designed for folks to be able to get into a wonderful home, quality home, great prices, and we'll talk about some of the other eligibility components of the program later on. But first, I just wanted to mention, Ed, that I understand you have an architectural background, which has been a great experience to draw from the kind of work that you do on these homes that we're going to talk about in a little while. But I think even more interesting is that you are actually a vet yourself, and so this must be exceptionally rewarding for you to be part of this program.
Yeah, I was happy to hear that they're extending this program and specifically focusing on the veterans themselves.
Well, this is, as I mentioned, quality homes at great prices. Tell us a little bit about some of the unique aspects of the homes.
Well, in a nutshell, the way the program works is that we look for abandoned, foreclosed homes. We would purchase them, and then my job is to go in and rehabilitate the homes to bring them up to a standard that is acceptable in today's market. We do use federal funds to do the rehab, and they tell us, they give us guidelines of what we can and can't do, but we're extended a little bit more in the fact that we could do upgrades to help actually market the homes more. The program does focus on veterans and making homes affordable. We like to say that we provide safe, sanitary, and decent homes, but I also get a chance to put in tons of upgrades and do some really nice things.
And we should mention that the federal program that you referred to is the Neighborhood Stabilization Program. Again, that's a federal program that was provided for communities who were hit so hard by the foreclosure crisis. And I'm curious, there's a lot of talk out there about foreclosed properties and so on and so forth, but how do you actually find these properties? How does that process work?
Well, we've got a relationship with local lenders and local realtors. They would bring us the properties with our agent who is in the office, who actually does the acquisitions. We've also have other departments within the county that provide us with pre-foreclosure information, so we know what's coming up in the market too, which gives us a little advantage. Plus the federal program, if the home is available through certain programs, they give us a first look at the homes also before it goes out onto the street for the investor. Very
good. And I know that each home is going to be a little bit different and it's going to require different work to be done. But can you give us some examples of the kind of work that you do on these homes?
Yeah, you bet. Well, first you got to remember is that we're working with the worst possible homes. We are getting the best of the worst, though. They're abandoned. They're oftentimes filled with vermin.
Oh, dear.
Most of that vermin is dead by the time I get there, thankfully. But a lot of times I'm going in and completely gutting the homes. It's just the nightmares that we do find out there. I try to keep the footprint of the home while upgrading the kitchens and the bathrooms and making the home, like I said, safe and sanitary.
And I also understand that you sometimes make additions to the property so that you bring them up to a more current marketable condition. Because a lot of the houses you're buying are older, so you essentially modernize them?
Yeah, I do actually. I try not to add additions, but a 2-bedroom home isn't as marketable as a 3-bedroom home. 1-bathroom home is not as marketable as a 2-bathroom home. Most of the time I can reassign the interior space to make those modifications. But if not, I have done additions in the past. What we like to concentrate on is essentially replacing the durable items in the home, the air conditioning, the water heater, the roof, stuff that the future homeowner may have issues with currently or in the future. We alleviate that, any type of maintenance issues like that in the near future anyway. A lot of times, most of my work is removing work that was done illegally, without permits. I kind of like the Mike Holmes of Pinellas County, where I would go in and make it better, make it right.
Bringing it up to code
exactly.
and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Oftentimes we're mandated to bring it up to current code, not just repair what's there.
And you also are making extra effort to improve the energy efficiency of these units, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I try to concentrate on water conservation since that's an issue in this area. Also, electricity. We provide, like I said, new hot water heaters, which are more efficient, new air conditioning systems, which are more efficient. Actually, upgrading from a SEER 10 to a SEER 13, there's an instant 30% savings on what that machine uses. And all those little things add up. We've got a solar-powered attic fan, which makes the attic cooler, which means the air conditioning works less. I'm adding dual flush toilets. If you do one thing, you hit the one button. If you have to do the second thing, you hit the two button, which uses more water, obviously. Low flow shower heads, which anybody could do now. All these things that I'm doing, anybody can do. But what I'm doing is I'm doing them all at once, because not a lot of people can afford to do it all at once, especially a new homeowner.
Right. Now, you mentioned that you're focusing on foreclosed and abandoned properties, and driving through neighborhoods, sometimes those are pretty obvious. They're kind of beat up and maybe overgrown. There's some benefits for the neighborhoods when you're doing these houses as well, isn't there?
Actually, it benefits the whole community. Studies have shown that housing equals jobs. So what I'm focusing on is helping out the community. We're not just helping the family that's going to move into the home. I mean, it's a great program for that. But I'm hiring contractors. Those contractors have subs. Those subs get their supplies from the manufacturers or the larger home stores. Those same subs go to the community diner to eat. So it's the whole community that really benefits from the program itself.
And I imagine if you had an abandoned, overgrown, broken window house next to you, you'd be thrilled to have Ed come in with his improvements.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because just yesterday I have a property where the rear neighbor, their fence has fallen in onto our property. I went over to the neighbor and asked them what their intentions were, whether they were going to repair that fence. And she explained to me that they just bought the house and they've got a tight budget. And actually, she's waiting on her brother-in-law to come over to do the work, so she couldn't afford to hire someone. And I asked her if it would be okay if I were to remove the fence and put up a new fence on my side of the property. And she was overjoyed.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So just that little thing helps to bring up the whole neighborhood itself. And I like to put the signature home on the block is what I have to do. That's my goal. Is I have the home that's a little bit different from the rest. I do the landscaping. Everything looks real nice, which tends to spread. People see this home and they want to bring up their own properties.
Well, I'm ready to have Ed come to my house.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to do that.
We've got that on tape, Ed. Now, what do you do in those cases where you've got a home and it's in a great neighborhood, but it just is in really, really poor condition and might be beyond the cost effectiveness, let's say, of actually doing some of the improvements that you're doing?
Well, we not only purchase homes that we know we're going to renovate, we also purchase homes that are blighted, are an eyesore in the community. We're not afraid to make a major investment to fix up some of these homes, but sometimes, you just can't put lipstick on a pig. You got to call it what it is.
Right.
And in those cases, our plans are to remove the home and essentially redo the lot itself with future plans of constructing a new home on that lot. Again, signature home on the block. Everyone in the neighborhood sees the home, and they help. Hopefully, they start to bring up their own homes.
Are you seeing examples of that already in some of the properties that you've done previously?
Actually, it's funny. I was just at a home that we're almost have sold, doing some last-minute home inspector improvements. And just a quick aside here, we really, really want to sell these homes in the best condition they could possibly be. We get the home inspection report from the potential homeowner, and we respond immediately to fix all those things. We don't argue. We don't negotiate prices. That's what we do. We want to provide them with the best one possible. But in that same neighborhood, we did our construction, or we were in the process of doing our construction. We were almost done. And I noticed that the neighbor next door started to do something. And then I noticed that the neighbor across the street, someone actually purchased her home and renovated that home. 3 houses down, same exact thing. I've actually had people come up while we were on site and comment on how nice the house is. So it's working. It's definitely working.
That's great. And I think that the program objective here is really being met. It's neighborhood stabilization, and you're doing that by removing the blight in some cases or doing those renovations, making the worst home look now as the best home on the block. Yeah. And that ripple effect really does have a tremendous impact, and not to mention the economic impact that this is having throughout the county.
Again, it's all about the neighborhood pride.
I'm really interested in all the green features that you're doing on some of the homes. And I know that we talked previously about the fact that doing some of the things such as the white roof, moving the air conditioning unit inside as opposed to having it outside.
Correct.
Tell us about some of the impacts that that's going to have for the homeowner on a monthly maintenance basis.
Well, again, the less money that the homeowner spends on utility bills, the less money they have to spend on maintenance, the less money that they have to spend on items like that, the better chance they have of paying their mortgage. And that's the goal also, is to make sure that the homes are affordable and that people continue to stay in the home. So that's why we go the extra length to do these things. A simple little thing, again, little things add up. Moving the air handler from a hot spot like the garage or the attic into its own conditioned closet within a living space or just off the living space helps immensely. You could see a 30% savings again just by doing that.
And that's a huge amount of money. I mean, that's money that people
it adds
can.
Up, yeah,
you can use that money for future reserves for the future maintenance of the home, or put it into savings. Yeah,
exactly.
It's a tremendous program.
And I also understand that wherever it's possible, you are making these homes far more hurricane-proof.
Yes, I am. Again, because of the amount of construction renovation that we're doing, we're mandated by building codes to bring up the rest of the home, bringing up the electrical, bringing up the plumbing, and also hurricane mitigation. But that's also depending on what I do. Some structures where I'm changing the actual roof lines, I will be adding hurricane clips and ties, connectors to make sure that portion of the roof is safe in case of a storm. Oftentimes, I replace windows. When I replace the windows, it costs a little bit more, but I usually put in an impact or hurricane-rated window, which not only helps with hurricane, but it helps with security too. If I don't upgrade the windows because the windows that they have in there are serviceable, I'll add hurricane shutters, the metal shutters that go on the outside of the house. Again, I'll have them in the house, stored properly, with a map telling people where the hurricane shutters actually go.
And that's a huge benefit. I don't know if any of our listeners have been to one of our home improvement stores and priced those metal shutters, but they are fairly significant.
Yes, they are.
And so those are all provided and included in the sales price of the house.
Correct. That's correct.
Very, very nice. And talking about water efficiencies earlier, you are also making adjustments to the landscaping, are you not?
Yes, I am. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Oftentimes, what I like to do is I like to provide irrigation using reclaimed water if it's available. So sometimes the prior homeowner had an irrigation system in there, but it's just inadequate. So what we decided to do is not only on that aspect of using water, but we looked at the aspect of not having to use water by working with the Extension Center, the Pinellas County Extension Center, and the University of Florida. We've developed guidelines to help us select and actually design our landscaping. We've got a landscaper on board now who is a certified landscaper, and he's been putting in these Florida-friendly landscaping using drought-resistant plantings.
I'm all for that. You know, anytime you can do something that's going to save money in the long run, and I especially like the Florida native part of that. And there's so many beautiful plants that you can use in that kind of landscaping.
Yeah, there certainly are.
And I think one of the most exciting things for me about this program is the fact that you can literally just bring your clothes and your toothbrush and you're home. You might have to do a window treatment, you know, put up drapes or blinds or something.
Sure, and I'd recommend a couch and maybe a bed too, but generally...
they're not furnished?
No, they're not furnished. That's the only thing I don't do. Wait a second, they haven't asked me to do it yet, I should say. But yes, they're move-in ready. We hand you the keys. You could move in that afternoon if you wanted to. Nothing needs to be done. That's great. And where are the properties located? Well, we're essentially told by the federal government where we should concentrate, depending on census data. But you'd be surprised where they're located. They are in what I like to call more mature neighborhoods that really need a second chance. That's where we like to concentrate on. I've got homes in Pinellas Park, Largo. I've also got homes in Palm Harbor, Safety Harbor. So the homes are so different depending on where you are, but it's a broad spectrum of different homes and different neighborhoods. So they're just all throughout Pinellas County. It's not like there's one concentrated area. No, not at all. We've got them, like I said, from the northern St. Pete all the way up to Tarpon Springs. Excellent. And in regard to that, I met with a developer yesterday who is looking to do some multifamily programs within the same NSP project program. And they have been doing a lot of work on NSP homes in Pasco County and in Hillsborough County, and they were actually doing some investigation as to where you have bought your homes. They were extremely complimentary about the lovely neighborhoods you've been able to find houses in, and apparently in some of the other jurisdictions, other counties, the neighborhoods are not nearly as nice as the neighborhoods where your houses are. And I thought, well, that's really good. We're getting ready to promote the sale of these houses, and that's a good sales point because, as you said, they're a little bit older, mature neighborhoods, but they're really decent neighborhoods. And when you put the best house on the block in and make those available to veterans for purchase. And turning the entire neighborhood around. Exactly. And everybody's bringing them up. And then in the next phase of the program, we're concentrating on the Lealman area. Lealman area has a very strong neighborhood feel to it. Again, the homes are more mature, and the homes that we are buying are blighted, so we will be building new construction in those areas. But the neighborhood has a strong presence to it, and we don't want to see that slip away. Well, that's excellent. And how do folks, what are the qualifications for the buyers? Do you have information on that? Why, yes, I do. Well, I thought you might. First of all, and most important, is you have to want to be a homeowner. That's the thing. You have to want to be a homeowner. This part of the program, we are focusing on active duty and former military, also surviving spouses too. While you don't have to be a first-time home buyer in this program, that's a big benefit too. Again, like Jane mentioned, there is, in this particular program also, there is down payment assistance or assistance with the payables up to $10,000, which is a big benefit there. There are some income limitations, and to find out more details on those, you just need to access our website or give our office a call.
Yeah, and I would add to that I understand that there's a requirement for the home buyer to take an 8-hour face-to-face home buyer education class, which quite frankly I think anybody who's buying a home, whether you're a first-time home buyer or not, should really take advantage of that opportunity. Those classes are free, and those certificates are good for a year.
You know, that's a big benefit, and I really wish I knew about it before I purchased my home recently. But it's definitely a big benefit. I found out a lot of stuff that I think that class probably would have told me about beforehand.
Yeah, and you know, things change so quickly in the real estate market. Things are constantly changing, and they'll have all the up-to-date information that they can share with you, kind of the A to Z's on buying a home. Another requirement is that you've got to have a 640 credit score or FICO score, and you mentioned the income eligibility, and we've got all of that on the county's website, so people can go to the website and get all the information that they need. We're kind of running out of time, but I also wanted to mention that one of the reasons that the homes are so affordable is that you're actually taking the cost of the land out of the purchase price.
That's correct. Which I'm surprised really to see the price of these homes. They're so good. Such a good deal.
It's almost amazing when you see the prices. You know, some of the land values I've seen are $35,000, $45,000, and the way we do that is that we Pinellas County, the Housing Foundation actually retains the land. You know, the improvement is sold or the house is sold, we retain the land, and there's a very modest monthly fee, maybe $15 a month. Is what you pay, and all the great amenities really keep the home very affordable in the long term. Right,
and the homeowner gets a 99-year land lease, which the bank views the same as a regular ownership situation. And as you said, they may be saving $35,000, $40,000 on the sales price, and they're only paying a very, very small amount towards that lease fee. And it's also an opportunity for us to maintain contact with those homeowners. If in the future they run into any kind of financial difficulty, whatever, they can come back into the system and get some counseling and support for correcting problems. So it's not just an affordable front-end purchase with available low-cost financing. There's an ongoing relationship that will make homeownership as successful as possible for folks.
Yeah, we're not just making a successful or helping to create a successful home buyer. We're really advocating and promoting a successful homeowner for the long term. So, well, we could really go on and on with this. There's so much more information that we'd like to get to, but unfortunately we are out of time, and we want to thank our guest, Ed Quartermanch, for joining us on today's show with Pinellas County Community Development. We also want to thank Pinellas County Communications Department and, of course, our friends at WRXB 1590 AM. Be sure to join us again next month, and give us a call if you'd like more information about this show or would like to give us some other feedback. And remember, you can also catch us on YouTube. We've made it big time, Frank. We're on YouTube. I'm Jane Merlin.
And I'm Frank Bowman.
Thanks for tuning in. And remember, there's no place like home.